I would like to introduce, and has to come to the stage, Representative Anastasia Williams. Sorry, we'll be hearing from Ms. Williams later. Next I'll ask if he's ready, Mr. Jorge Lorza, Mayor of Providence.
If you tell me to go, I'm ready. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to begin by thanking Arely Diaz. Thank you for being the MC, and thank you for your organizing and your community advocacy and representing PRISM here today. I want to thank Senator Chacon for being a dog on a bone on this issue. I know that it's been an uphill fight for a while, but hearing you say that you have 20 out of 38, doing some quick math, that's a majority, and that's really, really heartening to hear. So congratulations and thank you for your continued work on this. I want to thank Representative Williams as well. Representative, thank you for your continued support and your continued advocacy on this issue. I want to thank so many of our colleagues in elected office. We have Senators Quesada, Valverde, Gano, and Representatives Ajello, Donovan, Speakman, Williams, as I mentioned, and Ranglin Bassel. We're here once again, and it appears as though it's yet another uphill battle on an issue that just makes sense. This issue is personal to so many of us because everything that Senator Chacon was just mentioning, we have lived it in our lives. I remember when my parents came to the United States, they lived here for 10 years as undocumented immigrants. And when you have a family, when you have children, you simply need to find a way to get around. You know, folks are risking their livelihoods, they're risking their freedom, they're risking it all just to get their kids to school, get their kids to a doctor's appointment, just to get to work and to come back home. And this is an impossible choice that we're asking families to make every single year just to seek out the American dream as every other person and as every generation of immigrants that came to this country has sought. It is just not fair. But aside from the fairness part of it, it's also the right thing to do on so many different counts. Certainly, we want a healthy community where families feel comfortable going to the doctor. We want an educated community where folks feel comfortable sending their kids to school. I can tell you that when I was growing up in Providence, my parents sent me to school, but aside from going to school, they would never sign me up for any extracurricular activities. Being undocumented, my parents were always cautious, for better or worse, on anything that we signed our name and gave our address to, not knowing the potential consequences. And so simply by, quote-unquote, playing it safe, many immigrants in our community who might be undocumented, but their kids might actually be United States citizens, simply by playing it safe, they're depriving their kids and the youth in our community of opportunities to realize their potential and explore all the different experiences that are out there for them. That's not the kind of community that we want to be a part of. That's not the kind of community that we're constructing. And so in Providence, but also throughout the state, we believe that every single resident matters, regardless of their immigration status. We've done things such as done citizenship drives. We now offer municipal IDs to everyone and don't ask questions about your immigration status. And we want folks to know that they're welcome and accepted here in our city. But one thing we haven't been able to do because we just can't, we don't have the power to do, is offer driver's license so they can get around and get about their typical, usual, daily business. Stuff that we take for granted, but it becomes almost impossible if you don't have that license. So it just makes sense, and we are here once again rallying support, communicating and raising awareness throughout the state that this is an imperative that we must accomplish, and we have to accomplish it this year. Senator Chacon was 100% correct. You know, people on the other side will say, yes, but if you do this, we're going to be flooded with immigrants. And you know what happens, they say, then our streets are going to be flooded with crime. And we're going to have so many challenges, this and that and that. Well, that's all baloney. We know it because 15 other states have already passed exactly what we need to do here, and it hasn't led to any of those challenges. And And so we need to raise awareness and speak to that movable middle, people that are willing to listen to reason, and folks who are guided by the principles and values that have guided this state since our inception, which is of inclusion, tolerance, and then full acceptance. So thank you so much for all the folks in this room and for your advocacy on this. Let's keep pushing hard and make it impossible for anyone to take an easy vote and say, I'm not going to support this. Anyone who is not going to support this, let's make it as hard as possible so that we can get them on our side, because justice is on our side, and sooner or later this is going to pass. Let's make it this year. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mayor Lorza, for always being on the side of our undocumented community members in Rhode Island.